So, you're ambitious. You've got big dreams and bold ideas. You want success. You want to live a life that not only looks good from the outside but feels right on the inside. A life full of purpose, fulfillment, and freedom. You can visualize it so clearly. But there's one problem. You're lazy, or at least that's what you keep telling yourself. You know exactly what you need to do. You've read the books, watched the motivational videos, written down your goals. But for some reason, when the moment comes to act, you freeze, you delay, you put it off again and again. And in place of progress, you're left with a heavy feeling, guilt. That guilt doesn't show up all at once. It sneaks in, little by little, over days, weeks, even months. It whispers to you that you're capable of more. It reminds you of the time you've wasted. Eventually, the guilt becomes familiar. So familiar, in fact, that you stop fighting it. You start to accept this version of yourself, someone with potential, but no drive. Then a new year rolls in, a clean slate, fresh motivation. You set the same goals you set last year, maybe with a new journal, a new app, or a new planner to hype yourself up. You start strong, fueled by optimism and just a touch of self-deception. But before long, something creeps in again: procrastination. It shows up quietly, like that one relative who never calls before visiting. Before you even realize it, procrastination becomes part of your daily rhythm. And once again, you start identifying with it. "I'm just lazy," you say to yourself. "That's just how I am." But here's the truth. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just stuck in a cycle. And cycles can be broken. So how do we break free? How do we stop procrastination at its roots instead of just trimming the surface symptoms? Let's get one thing straight. Most videos and productivity hacks out there are surface level. They'll tell you to delete social media, block distractions, or wake up earlier. And while those things can help in the short term, they don't fix the underlying issue. The real enemy here isn't your phone or your to-do list. It's something deeper, something simple yet powerful: inertia. In physics, inertia refers to the tendency of an object at rest to stay at rest, and an object in motion to stay in motion, unless acted upon by an external force. Sound familiar? That's Newton's first law of motion, and it applies just as much to your tasks, goals, and habits as it does to objects in the physical world. The hardest part of any task, whether it's writing a paper, cleaning your room, going to the gym, or starting a business, is getting started. We build the task up in our minds so much that it feels impossible to begin. It's not the task itself that's hard. It's the pressure we associate with it. So what do we do instead? We distract ourselves with easy wins, things that provide immediate satisfaction with no effort. Scrolling through social media, watching random videos, eating junk food, or rewatching the same show for the third time. These distractions flood our brain with cheap dopamine, making us feel good in the moment but worse in the long run. To defeat procrastination, we have to interrupt the inertia, not with huge effort but with a small push. There are two incredibly effective strategies to break inertia and get into motion. One of the reasons we procrastinate is because we make the first step way too big in our minds. Telling yourself, I need to write a 5,000-word essay feels like climbing a mountain with no gear. But what if you change the narrative? What if you told yourself, I'm just going to write 50 words? That's it. No pressure, no stress, just 50 words. Chances are, once you start writing, you'll keep going because action creates momentum. It's much easier to keep going once you've started than it is to start from zero. This isn't just psychological, it's backed by neuroscience. Starting a task activates the prefrontal cortex, which kicks your brain into problem-solving mode. It's like lighting a match. Once the flame is on, it tends to spread. Popularized by productivity expert James Clear, the 2-minute rule is simple. If a task feels overwhelming, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes. Don't feel like exercising? Lace up your shoes and do jumping jacks for 2 minutes. Don't feel like cleaning? Pick up things off the floor for just 2 minutes. Don't want to work on your project? Set a timer and work on it for 2 minutes. Once again, what usually happens is that you end up going well beyond those 2 minutes. But the magic isn't in the duration, it's in getting started. Once you overcome inertia, the task no longer feels like a mountain. It becomes manageable, sometimes even enjoyable. These strategies aren't limited to work or school. You can apply them to every area of life. Fitness. Don't aim to crush a 1-hour workout. Just put on your gym clothes and do 5 push-ups. Side hustles. Don't stress over launching a full business. Just buy the domain name today. Relationships. Don't feel pressured to write a long message. Just send a quick thinking of you text. Mental health. Don't aim to meditate for 30 minutes. Start with 2 minutes of deep breathing. Every small action breaks inertia and creates momentum. And the more momentum you build, the more consistent your progress becomes. As Martin Luther King Jr. famously said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Too often, we try to map out every detail before we begin. We want guarantees, certainty, and clarity. But clarity comes through action, not the other way around. When you start small, the next step reveals itself, and the one after that, until, eventually, you're no longer standing still. You're moving, building, growing, and that is how you escape the lazy label you've given yourself. Because let's be honest, you're not lazy, you're just stuck in a state of rest, and you've stayed there long enough. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's not a lack of ambition or intelligence. It's a simple case of momentum or lack of it. The secret is not to wait for motivation. It's not about being perfectly disciplined. It's about making the first step so small, so doable, so non-threatening that your brain has no excuse left. Write 50 words. Clean for 2 minutes. Send that one message. Take one step. Because once you move, you'll keep moving. And if you keep moving, you'll change your life. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you.